ka Yatai nia namo ka debate wa penman ha ka arpau santri uni ubanai da ki walai puræ ka Khad-Ar Dalloi Law College Jowai hajrong ka phang prisoners in India should be allowed to cast their vote during election iwo mut wa ki wa chong patok to laad yaki o thap vote ki hai por election Yagani ka debate da chimbenta da ki walai puræ ka ni ka college yopan sngaw ya jarjar ki budia hayato wa ka ni ka phang we da bichar da ka bi majao secretary ka district legal services authority DLSA West Giant Hills da emlang ha ka ni ka sngi UNA Khan district and session judge West Giant Hills wa da ong wa ka ni ka phang to ko em kam bha nei bha wa yato ko wa ka sanchar paj ba ka riti sanchar kam jo ikla wa mut ya ki wa accent kam ter penceluru ya ki khana wa man ki watib ba upar khat ya ki nia ki wa chong nia ne liang ki wa chimbenta ki wa karchan ya ki ka phang da wanra we da pensngau ki jarjer ki nia na do I hok kam ki wa chong chnong ha ka sanchar paj ba kat wa ki wa percha wan da kadaw ya ki an wa da khang ye ni kam jo I ma wa yi umi de wa cha ule ye ni ye nam job dara da ka liang wa percha ya ki ka phang kat wa ye nam best speaker de yo daw I sengkon u wa na ka liang wa karchan Yagni ka debate da palai daw FB pasa Assistant Legal Defense Counsel we ya ikentin ikublay da yo naw ay khairim Principal Khad-Ar Dalloi Law College Jowai.
Now let us start. Let us directly come to the competition. Now we would like to call the speaker for the motion.
Check. Good afternoon to one and all present here. I'm Ivan Singkon and I'm studying at Khad-Ar Dalloi Law College, 4th semester. So, Honorable Chair, esteemed judges, learned opposition, and the intelligent audience. Today I rise not just as a debater, but as a votary of democracy, justice, and human dignity. The right to vote is not a privilege, but a fundamental pillar of democracy. To deny this right to prisoners in India is to wound the very soul of our constitution. Let me be clear, we stand for the motion that prisoners in India should be allowed to vote. And we shall prove beyond doubt that this is not just a legal necessity, but a moral imperative, a constitutional duty and a democratic demand. India's democracy stands on universal adult suffrage. Article 3 to 6 of the Indian Constitution says election shall be based on adult suffrage. Nowhere does it exclude prisoners. The Representation of People's Act 1951, Section 62, Clause 5.
Myself, I'm from 4th semester. Honorable Judge, esteemed audience, law is not just a set of rules. It is a living instrument designed to protect justice, equality, and human dignity. It a matter as a vital voting right. Exclusion must justify by necessity, not by habit. Both global and domestic, which together argue powerful against blanket disfranchisement of prisoners. Now, let us begin with Canada, where the Supreme Court struck down a law barring prisoner voting. The court held, and I quote, denies the votes to prisoners undermines the legitimacy of democracy. If Canada, a constitutional democracy, recognizes this right, then India, the world's largest democracy, should not remain behind.
Semester. I stand here before you to oppose the right to vote of the prisoner. I not only oppose that, the Delhi High Court, it has recently dismissed the PIL seeking the voting right for the prisoner. Let us firstly understand the clearly meaning of the prisoner. In the context of the Prison Act 1894, a prisoner is defined as a person duly committed to custody under a writ, warrants, or order of a court or authority exercising criminal jurisdiction or by order of a court martial. Section 62, Clause 5 of the Representation of People Act 1951 says that no person.
Everyone who are present here, respected panel, distinguished opponents and members of the House. I rise today to emphasize a dimension often neglected in the legal discourse, the real-world political and social ramifications of prisoner disenfranchisement. We must ask, who bear the brunt of this policy, who benefit and draws itself justice and undermines it? Firstly, mass incarcerations of marginalized groups, a democratic blind spot. Let's begin with Khad-Ar. According to the National Crime Reporting Bureau 2023, Dalit Adiwasis and Muslims make up over 55% of the prisoner population, despite comprising only 39% of India's total population.
And all the audience present here. I am Trebok Tanan, second semester from this college. I welcome you all to this side of the house where I strongly against the topic, prisoners should not allowed to cast a vote during election. Mr. Speaker, sir, I stand before you to argue with this given topic. According to the Constitution of India, to take part in any democratic process is a fundamental right. However, while the Constitution provides us fundamental right, it places on us responsibilities, the fundamental duties. If a person knows his responsibility as a citizen of India, why he is in the prison?
My name is Happiness Damrum. I am from second semester. First, we have to know why we against the prisoner in India should not be allowed to vote. First, loss of right due to crime. When people commit serious crime and go to prison, they lose certain rights, including freedom. Voting is a right of responsibility. Citizens and those who break the law should not have the same power to choose leader as law-abiding people. Ethical and moral issue. Allowing prisoners to vote goes against the basic value of democracy. People who have broken the law should not have says in running the government, as it weakens the systems of justice and responsible.
I am Wyrta, I'm here from the fourth semester. It is my privilege to take the debate forward and expound upon a core tenet of democratic justice. Let us be clear, the purpose of punishment is not exclusion, it is reformation. I now present the following interconnected arguments to affirm that denying prisoners the right to vote undermines the very soul of democracy and justice. First and foremost, prisons are not institutions of exile from society, but rather crucibles of rehabilitation. To strip an individual of the right to vote is not merely a legal act, it is a symbolic erasure of personhood. A denial of the possibility of reformation. Justice V.R. Krishna Iyer in Sunil Bhadra vs. Delhi Administration 1978 declared that prison walls do not separate the inmates from fundamental rights. He powerfully argued for the dignity of inmates and institutional reforms.
Yeah. So whenever it comes to law college, I'm very excited. So that's why I made a point that I'll come and see people. I've heard a lot about from the principal. So I've requested my secretary to be a frequent visitor to your college. And I can just say that, debate will be part of your profession. And you have to keep on debating. But then within the ambit of law. It would be nice that I would have loved to be here and see people debating. But then I have to leave. We'll be visiting very often here. I heard from the principal that We have always good students, and I don't know what is the definition of good students, but then people excel in their studies academically here. We have a lot of gold medalists from this college. So we will ensure that this college becomes a busy place, and everybody knows that there is a college here. We will start having a lot of activities, and I can only say that subject to the secretary agreeing, please, if she happens to come here, all the students, I just request that please feel free to ask her, even people who are in the final semester, that some maybe students from first generation lawyers, and they don't know what to do after passing law. It's a very difficult situation that after spending a lot of money and graduating as a law, then whom do you turn up? So it's very difficult. So I think with we visiting very often here, we can also help you in understanding that how you go about with your career. It's not about you practicing or or joining some law firms or something like that. But what I understand is that a lot of interaction is required. You have to call the new students here. You have to call the Shillong Law College students here. That mixing up, discussion, talking, and I believe we are starting on a very good note. So I'll get some feedback from the secretary, and I hope that students come more and more and participate in the activities of the law college, because I believe it's not only a debate, but it's a part of your training for your career. Thank you so much, and thank you so much to the principal for being with us. And I hope that next time when we come, we know specifically what to address and what to talk. All right. Feel free, and all the best for the debate. Thank you so much.